From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
And good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the Noon News. I'm Andrea Lutz. We start this afternoon with an update on some hot tourist spots as we head into Memorial Day weekend. West Side crews have reached Logan Pass on the Going to the Sun Road and Glacier National Park, and that entry ticket system starts tomorrow. But that doesn't mean the entire road is open just yet. With the winter-like weather from the past weekend, the crews encountered 2 avalanches, over a foot of snow in some sections, and drifts up to 4 feet. They plowed through all of that and back at Logan Pass. The opening date of Many Glacier Road has been delayed until June 3rd. And remember, this year Glacier did start that ticket system to get into the park. That opens starting at 6 a.m. tomorrow, but the road is still closed at Avalanche. The Beartooth Pass is scheduled to open Friday between Red Lodge and Cook City, but officials say the opening, of course, dependent on weather. The Friday opening is scheduled for 8 a.m. Conditions can change quickly, especially during spring and fall, and roads can temporarily close again due to poor conditions. Officials say plan to have an alternate route if you do travel on the highway. All right, we are checking in now with our Miller Robson as we get ready to embark on Memorial Day weekend. How are you?
I am doing fine. How are you today?
Good.
All right. Hey, I got some good news. If you plan to get outdoors for the long holiday weekend, things are looking good, but we have a bit of a speed bump before we get there. Right now, we're pretty much clear across the state as we take a look at temperatures in the 50s and 60s, even some 40s off to our east. By the way, our latest drought monitor just came out. Not much of an improvement. We've seen some changes, some alleviation in parts of north central Montana, but most of us really could still use that rain. Look out there, east and northeast corner of the state, still aching for any type of moisture, and we do have relief on the way. Check that out. A cold front coming out of the west, already giving us some rain in Vancouver and Seattle, Portland as well. On our way. When's it going to hit, and how much could we get? I'll let you know coming up. Andrew.
All right, it seems that people are starting to worry less about hours worked and income. That's according to Axios Inequality Index. People were asked if they were worried about losing their jobs in the next 4 weeks, and people answered no. In April, those concerns started, though. Economists say people were likely more optimistic in April after receiving money from stimulus benefits. All right, today is that busiest travel day of the Memorial Day weekend. Montana is expected to be a top destination for many travelers who have a craving for camping. Last year, a record 10 million people got outside and camped for the first time, and experts say reservations are already up 60% this year compared to 2019. But some Montanans do want to get away. Air travel is expected to jump 570% compared to last Memorial Day, and many folks are heading for warmer climates.
Now what we're seeing is that people are starting to head to these more populous cities where that lost their appeal during the pandemic. So cities like Orlando, Los Angeles, San Diego, a lot of these beach destinations are going to be very popular for travelers this year.
And experts say people leaving for a road trip today could see double the number of drivers on the road. A Columbia Falls woman is in the hospital this afternoon after being shot by police during a standoff. Officers received reports of gunshots coming from the woman's home, and when they arrived, she came outside with a gun in hand and quickly went back in the house. Well, later that day, according to authorities, she came back out and started firing shots at police. So they fired back. She was struck and taken into custody and then taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds. Montana's U.S. senators are voicing some concerns about overcrowding and the quality of employee housing in our national parks. And another issue is how hundreds of millions of dollars for park infrastructure will be spent. Here's MTN's John Shear.
Just down this road, Yellowstone National Park is setting all kinds of visitation records, and the expectation is those numbers will only grow as the summer arrives.
I think it will be the biggest season in the history of the Park Service.
We're going to have record years in our national parks and visitation.
Will you encourage parks to continue pursuing these new systems beyond the pandemic in order to decrease overcrowding?
Our ultimate goal is to provide a quality visitor experience and make sure that we're doing a good job in protecting resources for future generations.
The Park Service is rolling out its first mobile app this summer with a feature for some parks that will tell you how many spaces are available in the next parking lot you'll come to. And there are other ideas.
And one of those ideas perhaps is to encourage visitors to think about some of our lesser known parks when they look at their itineraries. My question is, how can we use your tools and your knowledge to highlight and drive visitation to some of these lesser known parks?
We would be more than happy to go back to the Park Service and certainly work in concert with your committee to try to coordinate that information. I think the wonders of Big Hole and Big Horn are incredibly important, and I think we can direct our populace there through educational works.
Parks overcrowding is getting so much attention, the committee plans to hold a separate hearing on that topic alone later this summer. Closely related to park overcrowding is substandard housing for park employees.
We have made it a goal within the National Park Service to eliminate poor housing that exists in terms of quality of housing. I think Yellowstone is a great example of where we have invested a significant amount of money over the last 3 years. And if memory serves me right, we've replaced over 40 units in that particular park.
Benj says the Park Service is also reaching out to help tour companies and other park contractors who are suffering because of the pandemic by extending their contracts by another 2 years. Now, there were a couple of other interesting things that came out of the session. One was that you no longer have to wear a mask if you are a visitor or an employee at the park, so long as you're fully vaccinated. And then there was something that Ken Burns said when he was talking about overcrowding. He mentioned an incident where he and his young daughters were trapped in a buffalo jam at the park. He told them that was the good kind of line to be in. I'm John Shearer, MTN News.
And the Park Service tells senators it plans to spend $126 million on infrastructure improvements in Yellowstone Park. Most of the money will be spent improving roads and replacing employee housing. All right, so Airbnb has revealed Montana as one of the top trending states for travelers this summer. The vacation rental site says people are looking to escape to rural areas. In fact, 2021 rural travel accounted for more than double of the bookings, and this means travelers are looking for cities and states with fewest hotel rooms, including Montana, which ranks 39th. Guests are also looking to book near national and state parks, with the top destinations this summer including Whitefish, West Yellowstone, and Park County, Montana. We do have more ahead on today's new news, including taking a look at a very unique prom for a student who's been through the unthinkable. We'll have her story. But first, Miller's back in with a look at that statewide weather forecast.